Well, those showers and thunderstorms that were up in Missouri, well, they're tracking a lot further south than anticipated, but they're finally really starting to weaken rapidly. One area of some brief heavy downpours moving through parts of Conway County, just south of Russellville right now. Also moving into northeastern parts of Yell County. Outflow boundary causing some gusty winds up to about 40 miles per hour. Now that gust front moving through central parts of Saline County right now. Maybe a shower over the next couple of hours. Otherwise, we're looking for a mostly clear night and a partly cloudy day for your Wednesday. We're going to start at around 75 and with a shower in the afternoon, top it out in the mid-90s. KARK 4 News at 10 starts right now.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK 4 News.
And we begin with some breaking news we're just learning about. The Jacksonville mayor confirming tonight that the North Metro Hospital is no longer accepting emergency patients. That's emergency patients. This comes after there had been word last week that the ER was in fact closing, something we're keeping a very close eye on. Naturally, when we get more information on this, we'll update you on air and, of course, online at KARK.com. Oh, the status of Little Rock School District taking center stage this evening as dozens turn out to give their take on the nearly 5-year state takeover. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Bob Clausen.
And I'm Ashley Ketz. Tonight was the first of 4 opportunities for the public to weigh in on the next steps for the district. The State Board of Education hosted that meeting at Arkansas Baptist College. That's where we find KARK's Rochelle Turner tonight. She's live with reaction. Rochelle?
Well, Bob and Ashley, good evening to you. From parents, teachers, supporters, and even state representatives, they were not afraid to give their opinions tonight. A lot of people said they just wanted a complete plan, a full plan of what's going on, and they also said they want complete control over the Little Rock School District. A lot of people told me that tonight they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that happens. A packed house at Arkansas Baptist College Tuesday night.
I want to get some answers. This has been going on for almost 5 years that we've been under state control, and we really haven't seen very many improvements, if any at all.
The Board of Education asking the public to consider several scenarios, including the pros and cons of electing a school board moving forward. A return to local control dominated the discussion.
We need complete control of the school district and have elect our board members independent of anybody assigning somebody.
But the focus was on the schools not meeting academic standards. Since the takeover, 8 schools in the Little Rock School District have received a grade letter F from the previous school year.
I think it's absolutely appalling. I think the only reason that could be is either they can't get the job done or they don't want to get the job done. And either way, we deserve better. Our kids deserve better. Our community deserves better.
Superintendent Michael Poore with the Little Rock School District was pleased with tonight's turnout.
What I hope is that, we get to common ground, things that make sense, parties coming together to say, here's what we can go do to get our district back to having local control in a way that really makes sense.
Many parents and teachers agree they've had enough, demanding change for their school and students.
They have proved to be a tremendous failure as far as I'm concerned.
Now tonight, no decisions were made. It was just a public meeting for the school board, the Board of Education, to get some feedback from the public. As you mentioned, Ashley, they are going to have several more of these public meetings. That next meeting is going to be next Monday on the 26th at Don Roberts Elementary School. It's going to be at 6 p.m. And just moving forward, everybody's just really hoping that the school is going to, the Little Rock School District is going to regain control. For now, reporting live at Arkansas Baptist College, I'm Rochelle Turner, KARK 4 News.
Okay, Rochelle, thanks very much.
In another meeting this evening, voted down marijuana, the big talker at City Hall tonight as the Board of Directors discuss at length making misdemeanor marijuana offenses the lowest priority for Little Rock police officers.
The board weighing in earlier tonight, ultimately voting the proposal down after concerns from the police chief and city attorney. KARK 4's Mitch McCoy is live outside City Hall tonight with what both sides had to say. Mitch?
Well, yeah, Bob and Ashley, good evening. The board voted it down 4-5, with one city director being absent tonight after a lengthy conversation with the police chief. The proposed ordinance would have given officers a direct order to make misdemeanor marijuana offenses by adults the lowest level law enforcement priority. Police Chief Keith Humphrey told the board this is something already being done, saying more marijuana citations are being written now than ever before. It's been said that there were 702 marijuana arrests by Little Rock police officers in 2016. Chief Humphrey says it's very difficult to tell a police officer who's taken an oath to uphold the law to ignore misdemeanor marijuana offenses, but he reassured the board that violent crime is a top priority for the police department.
We've made it very clear that this is not something that we're going out here hunting people for. This is a low level of priority. We have placed our priority on overall crime in the city.
This is the second time since 2017 that City Director Ken Richardson has proposed the ordinance. Director Richardson says he believes the African-American community is treated unfairly by officers investigating marijuana offenses.
The enforcement of marijuana use is heavily concentrated on the black population. I'm not saying it's related to singly related to black people. I mean, I know across the board the use is pretty much the same, but the enforcement of it is much different.
Director Richardson says the city of Jacksonville has told its police officers that misdemeanor marijuana offenses should be considered a low-level priority. Before the board voted tonight, Chief Humphrey expressed concerns to board members that if they were to pass this ordinance, he felt like it would give people the permission, a pass, more or less, to smoke marijuana in front of officers, thinking that officers would not be able to enforce that law. The city attorney also expressed concerns tonight to board members, saying that if they pass this ordinance, he doesn't know how the feds will react, saying that Washington is changing all the time, and if the city is looking at getting some kind of federal grant for body cameras, he doesn't know if that could have some kind of impact down the road if the board were to pass this ordinance. But again, the board voted it down earlier tonight, 4-5. Back to you.
Mitch, thanks very much for that report tonight. Meanwhile, in Fayetteville, a doctor at the VA is now charged with involuntary manslaughter. This is in connection to the deaths of 3 veterans. Back in 2016, Dr. Levy appeared to be intoxicated while on duty, and a drug test revealed his blood alcohol content was a staggering .396. And that's when the VA suspended his privileges to practice medicine. And then he started into a 3-month inpatient treatment program. He then went into a contract with the Mississippi Medical Board to return to practice contingent on random drug test. The indictment alleges on 12 occasions he used a chemical substance for intoxication not detectable through the routine drug test.
The 2M2B that he used was again, a substance, not a drug, a substance, allowed him to receive the feeling of intoxication, but it would not show up on any type of urinalysis test. So again, part of the scheme was his concealment of this by using that specific substance in order to mask the results of the test.
With all 31 counts, Dr. Levy faces up to 524 years in jail and a fine of nearly $8 million. We're told he has not cooperated with authorities since his arrest.
Well, prison authorities at Cummins Unit have charged one of their own with possession of drugs inside the prison. When Sergeant Tia Washington reported to work yesterday, agents say that she was carrying an object on her duty belt found to have contained 53 grams of what is believed to be marijuana K2, and later found about 71 grams of the drug hidden inside her body. She's charged with bringing prohibited articles into the prison and possession of a controlled substance. Multiple agencies have been searching today for a man who disappeared while on Bull Shoals Lake. Reports say 64-year-old Ralph Rush was spotted at a nearby gas station Monday morning at 8:30 carrying a red walker and a boogie board. Voters later say they saw him on the bank near Lakeview Marina. Police got a call in the afternoon saying the red walker and Rush's wallet was found in some brush near the lake.
We have a sonar, it's down. We contacted the Missouri Water Patrol. They got here this morning. Last night, the Mennonite Disaster Relief Response out of Clarksville, Arkansas, came down and they ran sonar for most of the night with no success. We're looking at water anywhere from 15 feet to 230 foot deep.
Crews search later the evening. They'll resume that search first thing tomorrow morning.
Planned Parenthood says it will stop taking $60 million of federal funding rather than comply with a new federal rule that prohibits the organization from referring women for abortion services.
Representatives say it will withdraw from the federal program known as Title X, which provides health services to low-income women across the country. Gary Gafor's Washington correspondent Jesse Tuno reports on how the decision has split Washington.
They have made the calculation that they can afford to say no to $60 million in Title X funds so that they can prioritize abortion.
On Monday, Planned Parenthood announced it's walking away from millions in federal funds rather than comply with a new Trump administration rule that blocks federally funded clinics from referring patients to abortion providers.
There are many organizations out there who want to participate in this women's health care space, but they're not willing to refer for abortions.
The Heritage Foundation supports the rule, saying the money can now go to other health care providers. But Amnesty International opposes the change, saying it will make it harder for low-income women to access federally funded birth control and other services.
This will have a majorly disproportionate impact in rural states where Planned Parenthood is sometimes the only health care provider for sexual and reproductive health.
Amnesty International says the rule plays into a larger political motive.
This is part of an intention to shut down abortion in the United States by this administration.
Other groups across the country are following Planned Parenthood's lead, highlighting the political divide in Congress. After the announcement, Minority Whip Steve Scalise tweeted, "Planned Parenthood is clearly revealing itself to be in the business of abortion, not health care." While Democrat Dianne Feinstein responded, "The administration's rollback of Title X is denying low-income women and families access to care." In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now in Arkansas, the controversy surrounding Planned Parenthood and its role as a provider of abortions has continued, with the city of Springdale recently announcing it was taking a stand to become a pro-life city. And recently, 3 laws aimed at placing more restrictions on access to abortions were blocked by a federal judge. If you want to learn more about those stories, we have our full coverage available to you at any time. Just go to KARK.com.
Veterans in Arkansas will soon be getting a little extra legal help. UA Little Rock Bowen School of Law opened up a legal services clinic for vets. It'll be a free service supporting Arkansans who served our country. It's another way of giving back to the veterans.
This veterans clinic here is going to be highly utilized. It's going to be a great training ground for the students, as has been mentioned, but it is also going to be a source of referrals back to attorneys in our state that can handle these cases.
Oh, there are 220,000 veterans in Arkansas. The governor indicated this is just one of many services offered to veterans in the natural state.